beautiful music. Yeah, I need to have you record my voicemail or something. Beautiful. Good morning. Wow, we have a packed house today. Good to see everybody. I have some family in town that came all the way from Seattle here too. That is pretty special to see them here. Actually, I'm going to embarrass him for a second too. One of these gentlemen, my wife came from a tribe in Laos. She was born. And in the whole world, there's 20,000 of these people from this tribe in the whole world. And they speak a language that only this tribe speaks. They don't have a written language of any kind. And they only speak this one language. And this gentleman over here, my uncle, he's actually the only person on earth. Is that right? Am I right? This is honest. I think he's the only person on earth translating the Bible into this language. Wow. Is that right? Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Yeah, so super honored to have him here with us. A couple weeks ago was my son's birthday. He turned 4, and some of you guys were nice enough to sing happy birthday with us. And after church, we headed out to Disneyland, where nobody wants to go, no parent wants to go, right? Yeah. Pray for me. I should have had you pray for me instead of sing happy birthday. But he turned 4, and so we went out there and we just spoiled him rotten, right, at Disneyland. Anything that he wanted, he could have it. Anything that he wanted. He got the crazy lollipops. He might have, I don't know, Irby, if you're here, you might be at your office soon. He had everything he wanted, right? And we're just spoiling him like crazy. And any ride that he wants, his favorite ride is the shuttle that takes you from the hotel to Disneyland. It's his favorite ride. It's ridiculous. And he likes the monorail too, which takes you like from the parking lot or something. I don't know. He loves it. You don't have to wear a seatbelt. That's his thing. But we take him, and so we're there for 2 days, and we were there like 2 or 3 times this year, and hopefully never again. But we're there, and we start heading home, and he's like, "Man, I want to stop at this place and just get this candy before we go. Please stop at the gas station. Let me get the candy, the gum that's in the circle, and you open it and you roll it." That's his favorite thing. If anybody wants to get him that, please don't. Yeah, he loves that candy. So we stop and we get it for him. Just want to finish his birthday, make it good, right? And so we're driving home, and then we get home a little bit early, maybe 8 o'clock-ish. He's like, "I want to go to Chuck E. Cheese." All right, dude, it's your birthday, man. We'll go to Chuck E. Cheese and then spend money there, and it's just ridiculous, right? Finally get home like 10:30 at night, and just exhausted, right? We get to sleep and wake up, and then we wake up the same time next morning, maybe 7 o'clock or so. And he's like, "Daddy, what are we going to do today?" I was like, "I got to go to work, man." He's like, "We never do anything fun." Are you kidding me, bro? Are you kidding me, man? I remember when our first kid was born, when he was born, and it was just so exhausting, right? It was so exhausting. I'm still recovering 4 years ago. It was exhausting. And by the way, we have another child. My wife is pregnant with our 3rd child. Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty amazing lady. I'm very thankful. And so yeah, we have this kid, and the kid comes out, and we're just like not sleeping. You know the routine. Not sleeping, super exhausted, worn out. And my brother comes and sees the kid, and like, "This is crazy, bro." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, this is really wild. This is impossible." And I just keep on adding more kids because it's already impossible. Who cares, right? Just put them at the end of the table. Sit down, dude. But and then he leaves, and a couple days pass, and I call him, and I'm like, "Dude, this is really, really hard, dude. This is like impossible, bro." And he's like, "Yeah, dude, that's what you signed up for, dude." I'm like, "Oh man, you're right, right?" I think as Christians sometimes we forget what we signed up for. Right? I think we forget what this thing says sometimes. When it gets really, really hard and really exhausting, and it's so hard, sometimes we forget what we signed up for. We say, "Please just come to my church. Please just come to my growth group. Please just come, please. What's that cross? Don't worry about it. Just have some cookies. Or just please come. You want baptism? Okay, please, just come." But we don't tell them everything, right? Well, sometimes we don't tell them everything. We hide a little bit sometimes. With the youth, some of the first things I tell them, especially when they want to get baptized, I sit them down day one and say, this is hard. This is really hard. I want you to know what you signed up for. So we're gonna go ahead and pray, and we're gonna talk about that a little bit, you guys. Lord, we love you. We're not worthy of you. We don't deserve what you've given us. Many of us don't even deserve to be alive, Lord. But yet we're here, and you love us. Somehow you love us. We love you too, Lord. Please be with us today. Please be with me as I speak your words, Lord. I'm not worthy of anything. But please use me today, Lord. Allow these people to be touched. We love you, Lord. In your name, amen. So I was working on a different sermon for the last week. And for whatever reason, it just didn't work out. And I just felt God impressing me to speak this sermon. And so I pray that it's for somebody here. I don't know if it is. I pray that it is. I really felt moved to speak on this. We just spoke about... I think Brett read Mark 15, 19 through 25. We don't need to bring it up, but if there's any visitors here and you don't quite know the story of Jesus, I'll give you a quick 10-second version, right? You guys are like, I've been going to church for like 30 years. You can do it in 10 seconds. All right? But basically, the Jews are waiting for a Messiah to come. Jesus is born, and then he starts doing these miracles, right? And then he does, and eventually he upsets people because he's claiming to be that Messiah that they've been waiting for. And then they start getting mad at him, all the leaders and whatnot. And they get so mad at him that they decide to kill him. I don't like this guy. I'm going to kill him. So they beat him. They flog him. 40 lashes. They get him to the edge of death. He's almost dead. Just alive enough to walk to the cross to then die. And that's where the story picks up. Mark tells us of Jesus walking to the cross. It's only about 2,000 feet, so which is maybe here to the end of the parking lot or so. And he's walking, and he's just so weak. He's so weak, he can't even pick up a cross. And mind you, it's not the whole cross, it's just the top beam part. There's already the bottom part is waiting. But it's just the top beam part he can't even carry. Some of us have that beam somewhere waiting for us. Maybe at home, maybe in our church, maybe in our jobs. There's always a cross waiting for somebody. But right now he is carrying that part of the cross. And he can't. And he stops. And so meanwhile, this guy Simon is on this long journey into town. About 800 miles. He came from Cyrene, which is in Africa. He's coming in town, and he sees Jesus carrying this cross, and he's probably like, I don't want anything to do with that. Right? I don't want, no. And there's thousands of people, maybe hundreds of thousands of people that came in town for Passover. And so this guy Simon just walking with his wife and his kids on his merry way, minding his own business, just doing life. Right? Just doing life. And all of a sudden they say, hey, you! You! Come here!
Well.
Me? Yeah, you! Come here! Me? I was just walking. Why me? Yeah, come here. Carry this cross. Who can relate? I was just minding my own business. Minding my own business, just doing life. And then they said, hey, you, come here. Carry this. Good luck. Go follow him. Good luck. Sorry about your marriage. Good luck. I'm sorry about your sickness. Good luck. Carry this. Right? You can imagine he just says, why me? He's just chilling, coming in town, and just wants to go on his merry way. And you see, Satan knows the cross that'll take you down. Satan knows just how heavy it needs to be. Some of us wear little crosses, and as a baby Christian, that's all it might take to take you down.
Well.
Some of us are a little bit stronger in our faith, and it might take a bigger cross to take you down. Some of us have been following Jesus for years, and Satan still knows how big that cross needs to be to take you down. You see, what's crazy that they don't talk about in baptism class is follow this. Simon is chilling. Simon's fine. He starts following Jesus, and his life gets a little bit difficult. Ooh, they don't talk about that. He starts following Jesus. As a matter of fact, the closer he got to Jesus, the harder his life got. Ooh, they don't talk about that. Insults, screaming at Jesus, everybody mocking Jesus, spitting on Jesus, hitting Jesus. And he starts hearing it. Are they screaming at me? Now they're screaming at me. I'm innocent. Just scream at him. Right?
Yeah.
He starts feeling what it's like to be like Jesus. Starts feeling what it's like to be mocked, to make fun of, to carry a cross. And we don't want to. We want the crown, but we don't want the cross.
That's right.
You see, whose cross was this originally? Anybody remember? Starts with a B. Barabbas. So, if you don't know the backstory, real quick, basically there was two men that were set to go to die. One of them is Barabbas, a no-name guy, basically a guy that was probably a murderer or some kind of violent criminal. And then there's Jesus. And the crowd is screaming, right? And the person in charge says, who do you want us to kill? We're going to let one of the people go, and one of the people you can kill. Who is it? Anybody choose. And they say, crucify Jesus!
Yeah.
And so Barabbas gets to walk free, and there's Jesus going to the cross. See, we think this is Jesus' cross. It was Barabbas' cross. Think that was Jesus' cross? That's your cross. Life is not guaranteed to be easier, but Jesus said, I have overcome the world. David, if you don't mind, can you put up John 16:33? This is Jesus. I have told you these things, so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble. You will have trouble. Christian, non-Christian, believer, non-believer, you will have trouble. But take heart, I have overcome the world. I can't carry this cross anymore. I don't want to carry this cross anymore. It's too heavy. I could barely make it here today. There are people that didn't even make it here today because their cross is too heavy. And there are people that could probably barely limp their way in here today because their cross is too heavy. It's not guaranteed that this life is going to be easier when you're on this side of the great controversy. When you're on Jesus' side, you're finally a threat. Is Devin in here? Devin? I played, when I was a kid, I played basketball, and I was horrible. And I was maybe 12-ish, and I was on the basketball team, and I was horrible. That's why Devin's like, why are you going at me, bro? Don't worry, I'm getting to you, man. And so we'd be playing basketball, and I'd be on a team that was 5-on-5. I'm like, pass to me, I'm open! Like, yeah, you're not good, that's why you're open, right? Devin. So Devin was playing football with us, and I wish Devin wasn't good, but he was actually really good, and he was never open, right? And why wasn't he open? Because he's really good, right? He actually, the last play of the game, I think my team quit after this happened, is I threw a touchdown pass to a dude named Dwayne, and that guy over there intercepted it and ran it back for his own touchdown. I'm working on forgiving you still, bro. Right, so again, why was he not open? Because he wasn't a threat. Why was I open? Because I wasn't a threat. Right? Why don't you know what I'm talking about? Why don't you have a cross? Maybe you're not a threat. Why do you have a cross? Maybe you are a threat. Bright lights attract bugs. Right? It's getting hard and harder and harder and harder the closer I'm getting to Jesus, because Satan says, I need to take that guy down. A couple months ago, someone was nice enough to come up to me. I won't say who it is, but they found me in the parking lot and grabbed me and said, hey, now that you're a pastor, be careful. Be careful. Satan's going to be after you. Be careful. And I want to tell you guys the same things. Be careful. Be careful. The reason it might be hard sometimes is because Satan is trying to take you down to your knees. Trying to say, I can't handle this cross anymore. Do not give up your cross. Do not give up your purpose because of pain. Pain should not keep you from your purpose. We can go to Acts 5:41 real quick. This is Peter and some of the apostles are leaving. The apostles left the Sanhedrin rejoicing because they had been counted worthy of suffering disgrace for the name. Go ahead and go to the next one. Day after day in the temple courts and from house to house, they never stopped teaching and proclaiming the good news that Jesus was the Messiah. They never stopped. They kept walking. How did Jesus get to the cross? He kept walking. He kept walking. Winston Churchill says, if you're going through hell, keep going. Psalm 23 says, as I walk through, not when I stop and give up in the valley. When I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, you're with me, God. Keep walking. Don't stop right there when it starts to get hard. Keep walking. I know this is for somebody. I know it's for somebody. Don't be surprised when it starts to get hard. Remember what you signed up for. What did Jesus say? Follow me. Leave everything. At the end of, I've already said this before, but at the end of Peter and Jesus' relationship, basically, he says, you're going to die. You're going to die. You're going to be crucified. You're not going to be able to clothe yourself anymore. Your arms are going to be spread out. And you're going to die for me. Follow me. Are you going to follow me? We've got to know what we're signing up for. Can we bring up 1 Peter 4:12? I love this. This is the trip. This is such a trip. Friends, when life gets really difficult, don't jump to the conclusion that God isn't on the job. Instead, be glad that you are in the very thick. Be glad that you're in the very thick of what Christ experienced. This is a spiritually refining process with glory just around the corner. So here's here's Simon. 800-mile journey, okay? Here he is coming into town, leaving the country. You can read this in the Gospels. He's leaving the country, and he's coming into the city. Okay? He's leaving the country, and he's coming into the city. And he's with his wife and his 2 kids, and they've been planning this for years probably, maybe at least months, because it took at least a month to get there. So he leaves everything behind, and he's coming into the city, and then, who's coming out? Who's coming out of the city? Jesus. Jesus being taken out of the city and going into the country. You see, he was going this way, and all of his dreams, his family, his everything, his desires, his goals were going this way. And Jesus was going this way, and he turned around. He turned everything around. If your everything is going this way, your dreams are going this way, but Jesus is going this way, which way are you going to go? Follow Jesus. You see, he had his own things that he wanted to do. His own dreams for sure that he wanted to do. But following Jesus wasn't that way. And brothers and sisters, don't just follow your dreams. Follow Jesus. See, that's the paradox of the gospel. If you serve, you'll be a leader. If you give, you'll receive. If you are willing to give your life, your desires, your dreams, your everything, then you get life. That's hard. See, sometimes I feel like there's no victory in sight. It's just too hard. I don't want to go on. But think about it. When Jesus, follow this, when Jesus had the bread and he didn't have enough for everybody, he broke it so that it was enough. Follow me. When he had the bread and there wasn't enough, he broke it so it would be sufficient. It is your breaking. It is your breaking. It is your breaking that's going to take you to the cross. It is your breaking that's going to let you be enough for Jesus. Rejoice. Rejoice. It's hard. It is hard. It is very, very hard. I was at the store the other day with my little boy. We were at Sprouts, the Disneyland boy. Shout out. We're at Sprouts, and we went and got some, his favorite fruit, one of his favorite fruits is watermelon. So we went and got some watermelon, and he was all excited. He couldn't wait to eat it in the car. And I was like, dude, just wait till we get home, please. And finally we get home, and we open it, and we sit in the little circle, and he's like, Dad, open the watermelon now. So I open the watermelon, and it's disgusting. Right? Sorry, dude. You want some ice cream? Right? It's just disgusting. It tastes like a cucumber. Right? But why? Because it's not in season. Right? It's not in season.
That's right.
So sometimes we say, I don't even know if I like God anymore. I'm not going to go to church this weekend. I'm just done. Did I ever like watermelon? I'm done. No. You're just not in your season yet. Just wait. Just wait. Son, let's come back in a couple months. It's going to be sweet. Life will be sweet again. But just keep walking. Just keep walking.
Amen.
Ephesians 2:10 says we can pull it up here. Anybody know this song? Anybody 5 years old? We are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. We are His handiwork. We have to know our purpose in order to keep on going. Let me give you an example. Let's just say, for example, I have this plastic bottle, okay? This is a ridiculous example. Bear with me. I have a plastic bottle. And when the people started to make the plastic bottle, it wasn't like just a bunch of plastic fell and like, whoa, dude, a bottle, right? They thought about it, and they started to form it, and they thought about what size they want, and the cap color and everything, right? They had a purpose for it. Same thing with the piano, right? The piano, when they made it, they knew how they were going to construct it, all the wiring, how it was going to sound, the buttons, they knew. And so sometimes we think like, oh man, the piano's talking like, I wish I could hold water. I wish I had a blue cap. I wish I could do that. You're like, no, bro. Your purpose is to make beautiful music. That's you. This thing is to make water. This thing is to hold water. That's Him. What am I talking about? Purpose. If you don't know your purpose, you can't keep walking. You don't even know where you're going. Right? You see, Jesus had been probably shut down hundreds of times. He should have quit hundreds, thousands of times. I would have quit long before they ever started hitting me. Right? I would have quit way back when they're like, you're not the Messiah. I'm like, maybe I'm not, right? I would have quit way back. But he kept going because he knew his purpose. The only way, when you start getting life struggles, when it's hard, when it's too heavy, when you can't handle that cross, the only thing that's going to keep you going is when you know your purpose with God. That's the only thing. It's hard. It's very, very hard. We'll finish here in a minute. I'm not suggesting some extreme form of Christianity, okay? This is basic Christianity. Pick up your cross, follow me. This is basic. But sometimes we get distracted by all the other stuff and forget God's call in our life. God is standing at some of our tombs and saying, come out. Lazarus, come out. Little girl, rise up. He wants us to come back to life. Stop quitting. Stop giving up. We have to start hating sin. The cross isn't something that we put on our necklace. Before you give up, remember why you've even held on this long. The final few steps of Jesus' life determined everything. He never pulled the God card and said, all right, angels, let's go. Knock them all out. Let's go. He never did that. He never pulled the God card. The final few steps, of his life determined everything. The course of history. Who else died on the same day as Jesus? Judas. What did his final steps look like? The final few steps. You're almost there. You're almost there. He's almost here. Just keep walking. Keep going. Keep going. Think about the last day of Jesus' life. How hard it was. How much he had to suffer. The weight of that cross. You know, sometimes we say, that was nice of Simon to carry Jesus' cross. That was nice of Jesus to carry Simon's cross. That was nice of Jesus to carry your cross. That was nice of Jesus to carry my cross. Simon was carrying his own cross. And sometimes you're carrying your own cross. But keep going. Keep going. He gets to the end, and they're about to put him up. This top part, he's going to get nailed into it and lifted up onto the cross. And when he gets to that point where he sees he's at the edge of death, Simon, no, it's not me, it's him. He gets to that point right at the very end where he would probably crack at the hardest part. What does he do? He gets on his knees and he says, here, Jesus, take this. During the hardest part of your life, when you can't carry that cross anymore, when you just can't do it, here you go, Jesus. Here you go. Help me out, Jesus. Get on your knees and just say, here you go, Jesus. It's too heavy. Help me out, Jesus. And when he got there, and you can imagine Simon just waiting now, watching this guy, Jesus. And Jesus just says, yeah, put the nails right there. Right there. Okay, put this nail right there. He knew his purpose. And what does Jesus say? Forgive them. Forgive them. They don't even know what they're doing. Just forgive them. Don't worry. Just forgive them. And he gets erected onto the cross. And he's standing there after years of ministry, years of all the things that he did, all the suffering, all the torture, all the people screaming at him and telling him he'll never make it. You're not worthy. You're not really him. You're not good enough. All those people screaming at you saying, you're not good enough. This is too hard. This is too heavy. And he gets up there. In his last breath, he says, it is finished. I'm done. I'm done. Some of us want to say, it's finished when we're done. No, no, no. Keep going. Keep going. So that moment when you finally get to meet God and you're there and you're just crying and you know you're in the glory of God and you're just thinking, oh God, what is he going to say? What is he going to say? I'm so nervous. What is he going to say? It's God. And he just says, well done. Well done, my good and faithful servant. Well done. Keep going, you guys. Keep fighting the good fight. I love you guys. Let's pray, okay?
Amen.